welcome to Bes-TEAS, Spillin from Time. I'm your host, Tasha, and I'm here with my best friend. Her name is Stephanie, everybody. She's feeling a little shy today, but she's going to come outside and play.
Oh my goodness, the level of comments we're going to get for your horrible accent.
Okay.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
good. It was a good one. All right.
Well, you might be wondering why we're in cowboy hats today. I'll explain.
Go ahead.
Today's show is about the glow up. And Aisha wears hats all the time. I tried to wear a nice hat like hers, and it sucks. So I got myself a cowboy hat, decided I'm going to be a cowgirl.
Right?
This is my glow up. This is my time.
And tell me she don't look cute.
I look like, this is my vibe.
This is what I'm saying.
This is who I am now. I went to Texas in this hat.
Yeah.
I came home in this hat.
And
This
now
is who I am
this
now.
is who you're in. Okay.
If you don't like it,
Well, you could take your chattel and park it in the barn.
this is what, I just need everybody to know, this is what support in a friendship looks like.
Yeah. That I'm sitting here in a glittery cowboy hat because my best friend said, Aisha,
I'm
for
wearing a cowboy
today's
hat.
conversation about the glow up,
Yes.
when your friend glows up and you don't, I need to wear a cowboy hat. I'm riding with you.
I love this. We are
Yeah.
ride or die.
Yep. Literally.
Literally.
Okay, so let's get into the conversation. It's this hat. I also just need to say, I feel like when I put on these things, I just morph into
Good.
the being.
Do that for my birthday. Morph into a witch. Warlock.
Well, listen,
Demon.
stay tuned for that episode of what you do when your best
Ooh,
friend is obsessed
Maybe we'll come
with
in our
Harry Potter.
costumes. Yes, we will.
We'll talk about that. We'll see. Anyways.
Support. Okay. Anyways, let's go. Let's go. When your best friend glows up, what happens when
Yeah.
your best friend glows up without you? This is the question. Obviously, it's happened to me. When your bestie decides to become a protein eating, vegetable chomping,
Certified health coach.
certified health coach, and I'm over here with my vodka and my chips and dip, and it's okay. You know, I said it last week. Who doesn't like a little chunky,
Right?
little cutie every once in a while in a cowboy hat?
Right?
So what happens though? What happens when your best friend maybe glows up without you, or your group glows up without you? What happens when you feel left behind? It is the topic of conversation.
Yeah, it is a topic of conversation. And that's a hard one because this is a hard one because I feel like, okay, so there's two sides for me. I feel like if you are the one who's glowing up, right?
Yeah.
That you're in kind of two lanes. Like one, obviously you're focused on your own development, your own growth. I think you maybe could take notice that people in your life, like your best friend, which is not her, just let me just caveat this. She is glowing up. So before people are like, oh, I just over here saying she's glowing up and stuff is not, don't even try that. Don't try to put that negativity out there because we're both glowing up. But I'm answering the question. I think you would take notice. Like, I think you would notice if you're kind of moving along and your best friend isn't, or people in your circle aren't. And I think it could be really difficult because, again, if you're operating with the desire for your friends to be great, that it can be awkward, like where you're just out here showing up, showing out, and everyone's just kind of trying to get there.
But you still want what's good for you.
Yes, you want what's good for you,
Yeah.
but you also want what's good for your friend. So I think that can be a difficult predicament to be in, because you might feel awkward. You might feel like maybe you need to slow down, maybe not shine your light.
There we go, right there.
Yeah.
I think you just said it right there. That sometimes the person feels like they need to slow down their glow up. And that is not where we want people to be.
No.
And I know that when you started your journey, and it was before your 40th birthday, and I told you, do not ever
you did.
dim your light
in the name of
to appease these people who may not understand why you're doing what you're doing, who may not understand where you were heading in your process. Yeah. But I know that there were times that you felt like, oh, maybe I should pull back on this. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be sharing this much. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this much. And I was like, We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to temper yourself. You're not going to slow yourself down on whatever journey you needed to do because of other people. But it's hard. It's a hard place to be in because there were people that had to be left behind.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because I feel like we've both had to do that for each other in certain situations where you yourself have been like, oh, I'm gonna, or not that you haven't done it, but you've doubted because like, what does that mean for maybe other people around you? And same thing, I'm like, that's kind of their problem.
Yeah.
I think it also ties into the things that I've shared with you around like not always sharing everything because not everyone is good with your glow up, right? Yeah. Like not everyone really wants to see others shine if they're not, which is interesting. But I can honestly say, I think I've had situations, and again, you've always been a part of that, where I have felt like, oh, like I'm moving, right? And maybe the people around me aren't. And so I don't know that I necessarily pull back, but I think I definitely am not as vocal because I don't want others to feel like I'm out here. And again, you being like, that's a them problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a them problem.
100%. It is a them problem.
Yeah.
But I think, hold on, I just want to get my thoughts right.
Yeah.
So, because I watched your process and there were times that I felt like, oh, I just swore. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Sorry. Because I try not to swear.
Yeah.
No, but there were times that I felt during your glow up, I was like, man, I hope she doesn't think that I'm like dragging along behind. Because there were moments to do those things. So there were moments that you were doing your transformation and whether it was your body, whether it was your career, whether it was, starting your own business, like moving. I had to look at myself a couple times and I was like, I'm not really where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hold her back. What does she feel about our relationship? There was a couple times that I was just, like holding on to that. But then I had to really look at myself and see, okay, well, I want her in my circle. Yeah. I want to continue this friendship with her. I need to make sure that I'm leveling up myself so that I don't get left behind. And it wasn't like I was doing it for other people, but I was like, I want to be great too.
Yeah.
I want to be doing really good things too. I want to be involved in my friends' lives and in their, accomplishments. And I want them to be involved in my accomplishments, which was, I had to take a hard look at myself and say, okay, so my friends, I'm fortunate because like all of my friends are really successful. Like I'm really fortunate. I surround myself with people that are constantly elevating. But there have been times that I have been stuck and thinking to myself, everybody is on this glow up kind of without me. And then I had to give myself a kick in the butt.
Yeah. And I actually remember that. I can remember you asking me a question like that. And I was like, no, not at all. Like I never felt that way because I always, and I think that's one of the things that I significantly admire about you, that because I know what's happening in your life. I know where you're at, and I watch you not compartmentalize, but separate like where you're at and what you're working towards, and then still having the ability to be like, I should go, like just go, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is something that I definitely don't take for granted, that I hold to such a high regard, because there are many people, and I think this is why we're having this conversation, because not everyone can separate their stuff and where they're at and still give that same love and encouragement and push the people that they love to go further, even if it means it's creating, greater distance between them. That it really takes a lot of self-recognition, self-awareness to be able to do that. And I don't know that a lot of people can do that. And you've done that. I mean, you've leveled up.
It's hard though. It's really hard. And I'm not going to lie. Like even for me, there's been times that I've looked at other people in my life and been truthfully jealous.
Yeah.
And been like, why can't I have that for myself? But it's, I did have to really learn to say, it's okay for me to be in the place that I'm in right now and everybody else around me doing their own stuff, and me still really rooting for them. And it really is a place that you have to get where you feel comfortable in the skin that you're in. Yeah. And, making sure that you are okay mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. And then letting other people grow around you is only good for you.
Yes.
100%. It's like potting yourself in a really great garden.
top
and
tier
you're just
soil.
like, everybody around me is top tier soil.
Yeah.
Everybody around me is like doing these amazing things. I am going to grow.
Yeah.
Make sure that the people that you bring around you, like they say, you look at the 5 closest people to you and you will see yourself, right? Like
well, girl, you're fabulous.
I know, especially with this hat. Especially with this, like, I love me in this hat. Like, I really love. I'm looking at the screen right now because I love me.
She cute.
But I will say, I do have a question for you because we've talked about this before, but does change equal betrayal for some people? You know how, like, two people, they party, maybe they party all the time. Maybe they, I don't know, do stuff that's not great for themselves. And then one person says, I think I want to stop this. And is that, or can it be perceived as like a betrayal to the person that's like, whoa, wait a second. Like, we bonded over this. Yeah. This is what we do. This is who we are. And now you're changing. And now you're evolving into this totally different person that I don't understand or I don't identify with. Is that a betrayal? Or is it something that you have to discuss with your best friend? Like, listen, I'm about to go on this journey. Yeah. And you can either come with me or you don't.
Or you don't. Yeah. So I want to say that, you're bothering me. Sorry, I know this is taping line, but you know what? These kids need to just leave me alone. What I will say, that first of all, that is a solid question. I would like to believe that if you're in a relationship with someone, like a best friendship, cool, right? You're partying. We didn't necessarily meet in our peak party phase, but I definitely think we partied.
Yes.
And while our life paths took a little bit different, not our life paths, like things were a little bit different for us. What I will say is, I think you should have the conversation. Not to say like, okay, just so you know, like I'm stopping. But I think the evolution should be evident. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to stop partying and stop doing all these things and this is the path I'm going to go on, I would like to believe that in a friendship, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Like, I gotta cut this. Like, I'm kind of growing out of this, or this is not what I want anymore. Now, does it mean that the other person doesn't feel betrayed? I don't know that you can control that, because if that person, like what we talked about, is not ready or doesn't feel like they have the ability to make that change, then it can feel like betrayal. But I want to believe that, again, it's kind of the foundations of like what we always talk about, which is that you want to see your best friend go. Like, there has to be a point where you realize you're not going to stay status quo. Yeah. Right. But I think the other person could feel betrayed for sure.
At one point I did go on a health journey. Yeah. Just so everybody knows. I did go on a health journey. You still stay on a health journey. It just looks different.
I
was very successfany at that time, and I was very thin, and I was working out, and we ended up doing this morning bash, oh my God. I accomplished this whole entire thing in my life. Many, many moons ago. But I will never forget when I was starting that journey and I was eating so strict, and I was seeing a nutritionist and a naturopath, and I was doing all this stuff. There were so many questions about like, well, why are you eating only that? Yeah. Or why aren't you drinking this? And why aren't you partying here? And why? Because I was in the event industry as well. So there was like questions about some of the things that I wasn't doing anymore, or that I wasn't partaking in anymore. Not drugs. I'm not a drug addict, but it was more so like around food.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my
kidding. God. She really was.
Absolutely. No, there was so many questions that I got that like, oh, how come you're eating like this now? How come you're doing this? How come you're not drinking? How come you're not coming out with us? How come you're not smoking? Because I was a smoker. How come you're not smoking anymore? And like, that was a huge thing. And I was like, because I don't want to die of lung cancer. Right. But hey, cool. Like,
cool. Well, I can keep going.
Sure. Let me just leave my lungs on the ground. It was every time I did that, which kind of kept me in a rut, because every time I did that, people would question the behavior. I wasn't in necessarily the best friendships at the time, but they were questioning my behavior, why I was changing, why I was evolving, why I was becoming something different. And because I felt like I was leaving them behind, I pulled back on my own stuff.
Okay.
And then started questioning like, oh, maybe maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Like maybe
or like I should slow down.
I need to slow down my evolution because I'm leaving these people behind and I want to stay with these people. Which was such like a peer pressure thing.
Yeah. And the need to belong. And the desire to belong. Yeah. The desire to belong. That's a very, like, again, because we've been friends for so long, I can remember, like, I know all of these transitions.
You know where that's at. Yeah.
And it's so interesting, again, that you would have, because I was on the other side. I was like, okay, like, this is the journey you're on.
Eat your leaves.
Right? Exactly. Right. We were running.
We were running like
5K.
More than 5K.
Oh, I'm talking like at one time, like not even like in a week. We were running. My dad put together this whole training program.
We were fit. Okay. We were fit. We were living our best lives. She's still fit. I'm not. But like, it just, at the time, I was making so many changes that I was like, this is amazing for me.
Yeah.
And then other people were like, why are you being this different person? Why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? And I would say, oh, for me. And they're like, really?
Yeah. Interesting that they would even challenge
who you doing it for.
And I don't know that. So this is an interesting question, because would people think, like, when you do glow up, right? Do you think people find it difficult to believe that you're doing a glow up for yourself?
Yes.
Or because you're doing a glow up for somebody, or?
Yeah. I think that they thought that I was doing it for somebody else. Okay. I think that there was like, oh, to fit in with so-and-so, you also want to be fit, or you want to do this, and I'm like, I just don't want to be fat. Right. Like, I just don't want to be drinking all the time. I just don't want to be smoking cigarettes all the time. Like, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm doing the change because I don't want to feel interesting.
Yeah. But then that for me was like super red flags.
Yes.
And what do you think are some red flags? If somebody were to start their glow up and their friends, I should have bought my red and my green flag.
Right, I know. Oh my God, this would have been like
red flag, green flag. But what do you think are some red flags that people can give you? Like, if you are actively in your glow up?
I mean, I feel like the story you just told is literally all of them, where you have someone who's like, oh, what's the change now? Like, who are you doing this for? I think people who you openly share, like, you're in this glow up, and they try to, again, that bad mind energy where they try to sabotage, like, oh my God, just have one more cigarette, or like, what's one drink going to do? Or,
oh God, I just did that to you today.
No. Yeah, but that's just
bad mind energy.
It's not bad mind energy.
That was just because I wanted a drink.
100%, right? And you actually didn't ask me to have a drink. You just said you were going to have a drink.
I was going to have a drink.
Yeah, you didn't actually say, oh, Aisha, have a drink. But I think it shows up in many different ways. I think it shows up in them, like, not inviting you places, like, oh, well, you're on your glow up, so I guess you can't come here.
Oh my God. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, well, we're going to eat at this restaurant, and we know that you don't eat that kind of food, so you're not coming.
Right? Like,
who said I don't like to eat?
Right? Or who said I can't find an option on the menu?
Who said I can't find something there? Who said I can't come for a drink?
Yeah.
Who said that I can't come just to hang out?
So do you think then that when someone does glow up and the friends or the individual, like the BFF or the friends, feel a type of way, do you think it's maybe their jealousy, like, because now they see you evolving and they're still
for
stuck?
Sure. Yeah. For sure. It's like when they're resisting the change, right? Mm-hmm. They're resisting any change that might happen to their life too, right? Because
that's a good.
If your best friend is changing, that means that your life has to change, and if you're not ready for it,
that's a good one.
You know, there can be a lot of animosity there, because, like, why are you forcing me to change too? And, like, some people, and I don't want to, shout out the ex-smokers here.
Yeah.
But there are people that go on their glow up and then try and change everybody and, like, piss off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Honestly,
like, leave me. Yeah.
Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that that's one of the problems, that when sometimes when you see your friend going on a glow up, you're like, oh God.
Like, what does this mean?
Oh no, this means that I'm gonna get everybody's gonna be looking at my calorie content. Now somebody's going to want me to join their Fitbit group. Now I have to be on somebody's Fitbit journey, and we've got to climb mountains together. And, like,
I tried, guys, just so you know, I really did at one point try. And it wasn't even for the fitness. It was just for the camaraderie. She's like, I'm not
Do not make me join your Fitbit group, okay?
Not...
I'm on here for myself. I don't want to be on here for you. I don't care that you did 29,000 steps today, okay? I did 4, okay? I did 4. Walk from here to there and then back. So get out of here. Don't join my Fitbit group. I don't want to be in your Fitbit group. But so that happens though. And he who shall remain nameless tends to do that sometimes when he's on his blog. Everybody has to eat spots. Everybody has to eat spots and drink water.
Well, don't worry, because I have the counterpart to that one as well, who also was like, well, I read this, so this is what's going to happen in hell. You know what? Do you?
How about we just say that?
Yeah.
How about that's the perfect thing for us to say, just do you.
Just do you.
Just do you.
Yeah.
Allow your friends to grow up, glow up.
Yeah.
Allow your friends to have growth and evolution. Mm-hmm. Allow the people around you to grow and become the people that they want to be, because only goodness can come on you.
Yeah.
If you are actively allowing the people around you to grow and 100%. Really, really develop into the people that they want to be long term. Yeah. And you do you, babe.
Yeah.
You do you.
I love that.
If that means that you want to grow and evolve with them, or you want to grow and evolve in a totally different direction, be comfortable with allowing people around you to do the things that they need to do to survive. I think that's like
I love that one. Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Like, do you.
Yeah. Because if you value that person, and again, it's a bit of a recurring conversation topic that we, not a topic, but it's a recurring mindset that we have, which is at the end of the day, if you value the person that you're in the relationship with, you want to see them evolve. Yeah. Right? You want to see them grow. You want to see them grow up. You want to see them be successful and start a business or get a promotion or get married, whatever it is that they desire, you definitely want to see them grow up. And I think something that you said before, like, you got to take a bit of an introspective look if you are feeling a type of way if you're watching your friend evolve, because the only thing that can happen out of your growth is that I'm growing, that I'm benefiting. And when I say benefit, I don't mean necessarily monetary, but like, I'm benefiting from your energy and your change mindset and your motivation, right? That should only serve to now motivate me to want to do better or do something differently, or really just take a look at my life. And again, you said it also, that your glow up doesn't mean I have to start. It just means that I just might need to take a bit of a pause and be like, okay, so what do I want?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that you do have to take a pause also when your person is glowing up, and you need to decide whether or not that's the right direction for you, and like, can you support it? Is it in a way that you can support? Yeah. Is it something that you do support? Like maybe your friend is evolving into like a demon. Yeah. You know, like maybe their villain era. Yeah. And like, that's not really where you want to be going. And like, if you have to take a pause and you have to decide, is this friendship still right for me while you're glowing up? Or do I need to allow you to have space while I have space? And then we can maybe join back together in the end. I have somebody recently who we have had to disconnect completely, but her glow up is amazing. Yeah. She is still evolving and doing wonderful things, and I'm evolving and doing wonderful things, but we couldn't do it together at the time. And I still want nothing but good things for her and like success and evolution for her. We just couldn't do it together. Yeah. No, we just couldn't find a way to make it happen. But it doesn't mean that I want ill intent for anybody, you know? And I think that people they need to take that introspective look as well at themselves and say, okay, can I grow with this person? Yeah. Can I evolve with this person? Or do I need to take a step back and maybe we can, see each other again in the future? Yeah. When we've both become the people that we actually want to be, and that we've evolved to this level that we actually want to be at, and then maybe we can play in the garden together. Yeah. But until then.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, I think that is such a sign of maturity. I think it's a sign of self-reflection. I think it's a sign of also what friendships are like. And again, I don't know what episode that was that we talked about. Like, there are some friendships that have an expiration date. They serve their purpose at their time. You get a lot out of it, but then you realize, you know what? We're not at a place where we can maintain. Like you said, I want to see you grow. Absolutely. I want to continue to grow. And maybe if the future presents itself as another opportunity, cool. If not, it's okay. You're still growing, and so am I. Yeah. And we haven't held each other back. Yeah. And I think that that's the most important thing. Yeah. Is that when somebody is growing and evolving, that you are not pulling down the reins. You are not rodeoing them up. You're not lassoing them up.
No, you took it too far.
Okay, sorry.
You went too far.
Roll back. Sorry, you opened the floodgate. Like, don't give me the entrance into these worlds. You know what? Maybe we should start doing different things. Maybe I will come in your birthday.
Oh, we will. Yeah. We're definitely coming in my birthday costumes, but not the birthday suit.
Yeah.
But birthday.
I mean, that's on a different channel, I'll tell you that much.
It will be if the fees don't stop going up for some of the sports. This could be a totally different show on a totally different channel. I don't know.
Look out for that short.
No. What we're trying to say is that don't lasso your friends back down to the dirt.
Yeah.
Do not bring your friends back to where you think they should be.
Yeah.
If they think that they should be somewhere else.
Yeah.
If they think that they need to become someone else or grow into someone else, whether it be through their career or their other friendships or in their family or with their partner or with their children, do not hold them back. It's not for you to hold somebody back. Yeah. It's not for you to be so selfish to prevent somebody else's development and growth.
Yeah, because you are not ready for their glow up. That's such a great point.
And if you feel like you're being held back too, maybe it's time to clip the reins.
That's an even harder one. I think for the person that is I 100% agree with you. I just think that is such a harder position to be in, that when you're growing up and you realize like there are just people in your life that I will say maybe don't even have the capacity to glow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way that you do. And so again, it's not that you don't love them. It's not that you don't care for them, but it just means that they need to stay in a different space in your life. Yeah, that happens as well. Yeah.
Well, look at us.
Yeah. Glowed up. Get out of my head. I promise you that was not rehearsed. This is what, when you glow up.
This is not rehearsed, just so everybody knows.
But this is what the mutual glow up looks like when you're in sync and in alignment with someone. But I do think, I think for those who are watching, for those who are in friendship circles, best friends, where you are actively glowing up and maybe feeling like, what do I do? Do I slow myself down? Do I not? Please take Steph's advice. Like, don't. Because two things are going to happen. One is that you're going to diminish whatever your goal is, and you might actually be the catalyst for the people in your life to also glow up. Like sometimes you just need that one person to be like, yeah, you know what? There is more for me out there, and I can see Steph is really working hard. Like I also want, to feel better and do better. So, don't dim your light. Don't slow your process. Those who are meant to ride with you will ride with you, and those who are not, mosey on out onto the sunset.
Get yourself a cowboy hat. Get yourself a cowboy hat.
See what it does for you.
It is country season. Have a great week, guys.
Peace out.